And welcome to Red Zone Sports Week 6. Welcome back. I know we missed the show last week. We've had a lot of mini pods, but we got the big pod coming back because we're just that confident in our plays this week. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and win. Guys, how are you feeling this week? I feel pretty darn good.
Well, Jim's on the ultimate heater of all heaters right now. So
I mean, I have been. I've had a nice week so far. We're up about 2,200 in the last 7 days, which is very good. With a little showdown takedown on Sunday. Almost took down a Monday through Thursday. Yeah, Monday to Thursday. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I've been focusing more on higher dollar amount, lower total entry tournaments, and that has been quite successful. So not really playing
smaller tournaments.
Yeah, so smaller tournament size. So instead of playing 300 across maybe 20 entries or like 22 entries and like 15 to like $8 and $12 single entry, playing the like $20 3 max that only has like 600 people, or like the $50 single entry with like, I think the biggest contest I'm playing this week only has about 2,000 people in it. So, or whatever, I guess Mayo's contest, whatever the Mayo is this week is probably the biggest one I'm playing. But, yeah, I mean, what I've seen that it does is just it allows you a little bit more leeway to make a mistake here and there, and still have an opportunity to take something down. You don't have to just have the dead nuts even on single entries and have 10 to 15,000 entries in it, right? You kind of just have to fucking hit everything. So
it's a really good point. I mean, like I learned the hard way with college, right? Like you'll have a great lineup, but then like you play a smaller room and you can win quite a bit, a lot easier. But because people aren't taking shots on that rando from the fourth receiver from Oklahoma State, and then you play the big tournament, someone's got him. Hell, 30 people might have them, and so you're just cooked. Like it's so hard. So I totally agree with you. It makes sense.
Yeah. So it eliminates dupes too. So that's kind of nice.
I am also on a heater, not necessarily on DFS, but as you guys know, I'm like a $10, $20, $25 better. Big prop guy, as my name is Joey Props on Twitter. Make sure you follow. But I'm up $850 through props and parlays over the past 2 weeks. So I am officially on a heater when you have that much winnings on $20 bets. So
wouldn't it be great if you shared those somewhere, Joe? That would be. I'm sure people somewhere would enjoy that.
If only we had a channel where people actually tune in to get picks and plays and all that. But
we also have a dedicated chat in the Discord that we're a part of as well. That you can drop stuff in there.
We also have social media where people follow us for plays. It's not a big deal.
I mean, I might be the youngest person on this podcast, but me and technology do not get along. Like, I just need you guys to set me up, and I think I can get this done. I mean, I'm a fucking caveman. This whole StreamYard thing, the only reason this works is because Vinnie sends me a link, and I click on the link and it opens.
Okay, I'll send you more links. I'll send you more links.
This is how simple I need it. I just need to click something and it opens and I'm good. But if there's anything more than that, it's not going to work out for me. Like, even at work, the IT guys are my best friends because I truly need them.
All right, let's get through this. I can't do this.
Hey, but we're on heaters. The reality is me and Jimmy are both on heaters, and we're going to continue this heater here in week 6. And let's talk some motherfucking quarterbacks.
Let's do it.
Jim, let's start at the top. 7K up. We got 4 quarterbacks here at 7K up. How you feeling? What do you like here?
This is some interesting pricing on quarterbacks this week, especially. I think that my favorite play this week is going to be Jalen Hurts, all the way up at 8,200. And the reason why is if you look at his rushing attempts the last few weeks, he is running again. And then they all do I'm not even going to say the name because it's the stupidest fucking name for a play that I've ever heard in my entire life. But they do the scrum QB sneak on the goal line like 90% of the time, and it works. So I think that you could play him by himself. I like that they got Dallas Goedert involved last week. I really like some of the options around him. You could just go A.J. Brown too, and you're not going to go wrong there. But against the Jets, some of those other ancillary pieces I think are going to be attractive this week. So Jalen Hurts is going to be my guy if I'm paying up. Then?
All righty, Vinnie.
Yeah, I mean, this very much, my big fear is actually just blowout potential here. But I think this spot is very clearly where we can see Tua kind of get back on track with 3-4 touchdowns. Yeah, I don't think I have to overthink this one.
Okay.
7,600, Tyreek, it's so simple. Like, that's where I'm going up top.
All right. Easy enough for me, Joe.
Easy peasy.
I like it. I mean, between the Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins, this game, these defenses, holy shit, are they bad? Now, bad. The leverage play here in our big tournaments, especially in our single entries, as you were talking about, Jim, Justin Fields is actually going nuts, right? I feel like Justin Fields is going to carry most of the ownership, whereas Kirk Cousins is going to get possibly the same amount of points, if not more, than Justin Fields with way less ownership. Whereas you can own both sides of this game, right? You can get really sneaky on both sides. You got Justin Jefferson out, which is going to get people off of Kirk Cousins as well. They're still going to throw the ball 45 plus times a game, right? And this also lets us get cheaper with guys like KJ Osborne and Addison. That's on the injury report. We'll talk about that later. But like, I feel like everyone's going to say Kirk Cousins 7,100 with no Justin Jefferson, and they're going to say, get the fuck out of here. But the reality is he's still going to throw the ball 45, 50 times this game, and he's still going to put up stats. And everyone's going to go towards Justin Fields in this game, which we know that can go really, really bad, right? Where Kirk Cousins, he might throw some picks, but it's not like it's going to go really, really bad. Like Kirk Cousins is still going to put up numbers. So if I'm going up here, I think Kirk Cousins might be my guy. Just because you're going to get that leverage on the field.
Look, just what Justin Fields has done the last 2 weeks is fantastic. He's also played two of the worst defenses in the entire NFL the last 2 weeks, right? Now, I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Minnesota has a good defense because we all know that they do not, but I would be willing to bet that Justin Fields is not capable of that type of a performance 3 weeks in a row. He could prove me wrong. That's fine. I would rather just play DJ Moore and then, or Dante Foreman on the other side of that Kirk stack, and then just go from there.
Exactly. You can get so cheap in this game, right? And you could go high at quarterback. You can get very cheap on the Bears side. You can get very cheap on the Vikings side and get so many points, and also get a lot of positive leverage on the ownership. So I love the Kirk Cousins play at quarterback because it allows you to do a lot of other things through those cheaper guys.
The ownership piece is what I was going to hit on, Joe. I think it's really a great play because you get that exposure to Hawkinson, Addison, who's going to be chalky, but you add in the Cousins, which we always talk about, to be different and get extra leverage on it. So not many people are going to do that. They're just going to pick off Addison or Hawk, and that's a way to full stack it. And Jim does it all the time, kind of do a double stack there and get way different on that game. So I like that. And you bring it back with DJ Moore. Like, you don't have to overthink that,
Yep. So, all right. So going below
6K up. 60. So we got Stroud up to Lawrence. That gives us 5 quarterbacks to play with here. Jim, we'll just keep going in the same order. Who's your guy in this range?
My guy is a guy that is getting his number 1 wide receiver back this week. And is going to play a team on the road that is a massive pass funnel, and that's Jared Goff. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if people don't realize it, have only lost 1 game. They're 4-1. Okay, they have a great run defense. Okay, we kind of talked about this a little bit, but their pass defense is not very good at all. You don't need to do a ton here. You can go with St. Brown, or if you want to add more, You can add Laporta into that, but that's all you need to do. You don't need to go to any of those other weird guys. St. Brown is back. Don't overcomplicate it. Jared Goff at less than 1% ownership. He's smashed in a range between the two highest owned quarterbacks this week in Trevor Lawrence and Matthew Stafford. It's a tournament play, and I love it.
Quick question. I know we all talked about this before the show. We talked about how we like the Bucks. Do you just think that this game's a little bit of a shootout then for Goff to kind of hit value and get there? Like, what do we? Okay,
100%. Exactly. Yeah, I still like the Bucks to win.
Okay,
but the reason why I like Goff is because I think that the Bucks could actually get up a little bit in this game, and Detroit can't do what it loves to do, which is just pound the rock to Montgomery a whole bunch. Mm-hmm. And then whoever else is the secondary guy, right? I think that they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit. I think this game goes way over the 42.5 total that it's currently at. And I like the run back options for Tampa Bay as well, right? Yep. And you can kind of just pick whoever fits into your lineup, whether you want to go Rashard White or Godwin or Evans, right? Just kind of pick whoever you want at that point. But at 1% for a guy that is being fairly consistent and putting up solid points this year, he's going to be my go-to guy in this range. What about you, Ben?
I mean, I have a few guys I like in this range.
It's a good range.
Mr. 12 quarterbacks is back. Even though it's 11 games.
No, I really don't this week. I mean, I love Burrow this week, but I'm worried that the Bengals are starting to get steamed up quite a bit. Not necessarily Burrow, but Chase. I'm kind of hoping Higgins comes back and hopefully pulls a little bit of that ownership off of him. But I'm going to play it, and I'm just going to find a way to get different with that game stack or with my other pieces. I just think Burrow is looking healthy again. Chase is just an absolute alpha trying to flex on everybody right now. Seattle's pass defense is one of the worst in the league. Like, this just makes so much sense.
I'll just make one comment. Chase is not owned high enough. He's coming in at 22 to 23% projected. Yeah. He's one of those guys this week. I don't care. He's too cheap. Either. He's going to continue to get the volume. They've found the formula very much like the Niners with Christian McCaffrey, right? That, it's the same thing that Atlanta should be doing with Bijan Robinson. You have your best player, get him the ball as much as humanly possible. And look,
it's starting to feel like old Green Bay a little bit, where Burrow's like, hey, even if he's not healthy, I'm just going to target Jamar Chase 15 times a game, and good things are going to happen, right? Like, I'm not going to fight it. So
it's in fantasy, we have to look for the condensed offenses, right?
Exactly.
And when we know where the large majority of the targets are going to go, I mean, why not, right? Yeah. So I think you're fine with it. I don't think you should pull off of it because of ownership. He should be like 30 to 40% owned, in my opinion, and that's probably what I'm going to be. And if I'm going to have 35 to 45% Chase and Burrow, and maybe with Burrow, but definitely Chase, that means I'm going to be, 13 to 20% over the field.
Yeah.
I mean, give me that all day.
Yeah.
Joe, who's your guy in this range?
I like everything you guys talked about. I agree with you guys. But the interesting one this week is Trevor Lawrence. And he's not getting the touchdowns passing that we would like right now, right? The Colts, they're scrappy, right? They're going to make games. Like, there's going to be no blowouts where Jacksonville's just like, shit, we're going to run the ball 50 times because it's a blowout. And Jacksonville just doesn't blow teams out. The thing that is the most intriguing thing about Trevor Lawrence this year is he's utilizing his legs, which he can run. And he has 30 carries through the first 5 games this year. Doesn't yet have a rushing touchdown. I have a very strong feeling this week that he gets a rushing touchdown, gets a couple passing touchdowns, and at 6,500, a guy that's going to get you rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns in a potential 300-yard game, it's starting to look really good, right? Trevor Lawrence in his first couple of years, he was like trying to be that pocket guy. And it's like, no, dude, you have that Andrew Luck capability in the pocket, but you're super athletic. You can run the ball.
Yeah.
And I can see Jacksonville utilizing that this week and doing like a bootleg or something on the goal line, and he just walks into the end zone, right?
Yeah.
So he's getting too many carries with too much positive yards without touchdowns for that to just keep going. And if there's a week he's going to get a rushing touchdown, I think it's this week. So Trevor Lawrence, it's really enticing, and it's just a really fun game where you can play a lot of those other guys. Ridley, ETN, Kirk, or everyone goes to ETN because of the explosion week he had last week, and everyone forgets about T-Law. So in this range, like I said, I like everything you guys said, but Trevor Lawrence is really enticing here.
Yep.
I like it. I like it. All
I
right.
have him on my list too.
Continuing on down the list, 57.
Just stay in the 5K range.
Yeah, 57
everyone,
down.
Everyone else.
If we're staying the same order, my one guy that I like in there is Sam Howell. I think this is another game that the total is just too low. Atlanta has gotten too much credit for having a good defense by playing shitty teams. That's why, to back up a game, that's why the Seahawks defensive numbers look so good, because they just played the Giants and only allowed 80 yards and 3 points. But if you look at their first 3 games, it's not the same. Kind of the same thing with the Falcons, right? I don't think that they're very good. And then the Washington defense also not good. So I think this game is going to get a little bit more high scoring. The stacks are very cheap. I like the run back option with just Bijan and kind of go from there. I also, don't hate if you want to run it back with Pitts. He's cheap. He's getting targets now. Everyone, he might suck still, but that's okay. But yeah, Sam Howell's my guy in the 5 range. What about you guys, Vin?
I'm taking shots on 2 guys down here. Joe, do you have anyone? Because I don't want to steal your thunder or anything.
Yeah, I only have one guy that's in this range that I'm truly interested in this week.
All right, hit it.
Let's hear it.
All right, guys. It's Bryce Young.
Oh, one of my 2.
So here, just listen to this. Bryce Young last week.
Are my headphones working correctly?
Yep. Yes, they are. Bryce Young had 41 attempts last week because they were getting their ass beat by the Lions. And he actually got us a 20-point game. Now, that's 4X of his salary. Miami should stomp Carolina, where he gets another 41-plus attempt game. He's starting to get a little comfortable. I'm not saying he's like this fucking great quarterback or anything, but as we know, at 5,100, if you're behind and you're just throwing the ball like crazy and getting completions and getting bullshit yards in the second half and some sneaky weird touchdowns, he's going to get us 4X plus. Yes. Bryce Young is my guy this week because they're going to throw the ball from Q2, Q3, and Q4. Miles Sanders is going to get like 6 carries in the first quarter, and you're never going to see him again. So Bryce Young is my favorite guy for DFS this week down here. And this is if I want to get cheap at quarterback, which honestly I don't this week. So it's going to be a very low percentage. I want to go up at quarterback this week, but if I'm going down in this 5K range, it's Bryce Young.
Yeah, these are for sure Millie plays. And yeah, it's purely a game flow. Set up, play. He's got a very clear target with Thielen. You hope Miami gets out to an early lead. To Joey's point, he threw it the most last week, and his running backs are gone. He's going to throw this ball 40 to 50 times this weekend. He can easily fall into backdoor 20 to 25 points this weekend.
Okay, that's enough talking about Bryce Young. Who do you got down here?
Vinny, clip that, save it, and fucking send that Sunday night after Bryce Young gets us 5X. All right,
I got
moving
you.
on.
All right, I don't think this guy's very good, but he's the other side. He's the other side of Jim, your little bold call, and that's Ritter. For the same reason, we talked about it earlier. Like, this game has potential to get weird, I think, and he's just so cheap, dude. 5K. Go. You can even pair him with Bijan. You can pair him with Pitts. You can pair him with London. Everybody is so cheap in this game. It allows you to get Chase, whoever you want to kind of pair with it. If this game is moderately a shootout, you're in business in a big way. So for the same reasons you like Hal, it's the same reason I was thinking Ritter.
The problem is that Hal can actually throw the ball down the field. Ritter seems to not have that ability
Well, he remembered last week that he actually has receivers and threw the ball. It was kind of weird.
All right.
I don't know.
Guys, I can already feel our listeners starting to log off. So let's go to running backs.
Let's do it.
Running backs. I don't think we need to really touch on.
Let's reverse order it. Let me start this off, and then we'll go Vinnie and Jimmy. You can end the running backs.
We'll just start at 7,300 because I mean I don't.
Yeah, exactly. McCaffrey
needs to be.
No,
you should play him every single week. He's going to score a touchdown every single week. There's so much value that you can play him if you want to. All right, exactly. Joe, 7,300 and down.
It's Bijan. Bijan's my guy. I'm going to keep playing Bijan. At some point, the Falcons will say we need to give him the ball 25 times through the run, through the air, and just let him cook. And one of these days, Bijan's going to have the week. It's going to be that week. It's going to be that Tyreek week when he gets 45, 50 points, and people are going to go, God damn it, why did I fall off of Bijan Robinson? This could be the week, especially in the pass game with that pass rush, with his receiving ability, the shuffle pass game, the screen game. I can really see Bijan absolutely exploding this week. Again, I've been playing him every week, and he's got a nice floor always, which is not what we want for GPP, but the ceiling could be the one that gets us to the top of the list this week. So Bijan's my guy. Bijan Mustard, as always.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Joey here. I mean, I know that ETN is an attractive play, but at 8%, Bijan Robinson, it's only a matter of time until it happens. Like Joey said,
exactly.
Either Arthur Smith gets drug off the field by the owner, or he starts giving this guy the ball. I mean, I don't know how much longer you need to kind of figure it out. It's week 6. I hope that they've figured it out by now. So I'm with Joey.
Well,
Vinny, who's your guy on the high?
But before we move on, and it's obvious that Tyler Algiers is just not getting carries anymore. Right, like Bijan's on the field, even if he's not getting the ball 100% of the time. Like Algiers is not getting the 15. Like the first 2 weeks, Algiers was getting still 15 carries a game. He was on the field a lot. Now Algiers is not on the field. So because Bijan's proved himself, he can pass protect, he can do all the things. So he's just out there all the time. It's going to happen any week. And if he's under 10% ownership, holy shit, what a huge opportunity! All right, go ahead, Vin.
All right, the guy I love the most down here is Alvin Kamara. Dude, the guy is back in full force. It's old Alvin Kamara we were expecting. I don't know what that noise was, Joe. But 6,800, dude. This guy's workload has just been insane. He's everything that people want, like Joe Mixon to be. Like, oh, he gets all the touches. There's no one else there, except he's actually super productive. And he has gone for 21. 19 points in his last 2 games. He gets now Houston in a softer matchup. Derek Carr can't throw the ball. Give me Alvin Kamara all day.
Yeah, I mean, he's the other guy that I had kind of earmarked. I think that there's just no way that you can go wrong playing Kamara. So yeah,
especially which is insane. I'm seeing Jacobs being like super highly owned. I'll just pay a couple $100 less for Alvin Kamara.
Kamara's 2% more owned than Jacobs right now.
Oh, okay.
If you want to quick, mine just updated at 811. So,
all right.
If you want to run down running back ownership real quick, just if anybody's curious.
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
Nope. We're not doing ownership like that this year.
Somebody else might be curious, Joe.
Yeah, Joe. No one cares about your philosophy. What are those two at?
Kamara's at 15% and Jacobs is at 13%.
Dude, okay, I don't know what it is, but I saw Jacobs coming at like 24%.
You need to refresh because
call the refresh button.
That's what it was earlier. So that's what it was earlier. All that ownership has gone to Chuba Hubbard and Raheem Mostert. No, not Foreman.
Okay.
Chuba Hubbard.
Right.
Foreman's not even in the top 10. So we'll get to him later.
All right, keep it rolling.
Joe, look, I know that you don't want to talk ownership, but like if
No,
we
I
have
don't want
two
to talk about Dante. I don't want to talk about Dante Foreman's ownership, and we're up here in the 7K range.
just take it easy, okay? So it's apropos because Raheem Mostert's coming in at 33% owned.
Don't
Okay?
use
That's
those
just
big words
ridiculous.
with me.
So my guy I like in here. I mean, he's coming in fairly highly owned, but if we're going to talk about volume, Kyron Williams is the volume king. There's literally guys that probably should be driving the city bus playing behind him. I mean, no offense to the people who drive the city bus, it's noble work.
But dude, don't offend all of our listeners.
Don't say no offense.
Yeah,
I'm down to offend everybody.
Don't offend our listeners.
If you get offended, stop fucking listening. Go fuck yourself. That's it.
Okay.
One way
that's off to a good
Don't forget hit that subscribe button.
Like, subscribe. Flip Joe the bird. No, Kyron Williams. I think his ownership is going to continue to go down when some of these other guys get steamed up. So I like him in the mid sixes there. Joey, how about you?
Yeah, it's Kenneth Walker week.
Yeah, absolutely, baby.
It's Kenneth Walker week.
Always Kenneth Walker week.
Well, everyone's just fired up on the Bengals after beating a very, very mediocre Cardinals team, saying they're back. And I just don't think they're back. I think this is a higher scoring game, and it's not coming from Geno Smith. I think Kenneth Walker breaks off a few. Multiple touchdown game, 100-plus game. Yeah. It's a Kenneth Walker week. It's one of those weeks where he drops a 75-yard touchdown for us in like the first quarter, and we're over here just celebrating. So it's Kenneth Walker week. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Another guy Joe Mixon wishes he was. On to the next guy.
All right.
Are you playing
I'm playing not at 33% ownership.
Wait. Hold on. What's Kenneth Walker's ownership?
4%.
Oh, he might honestly be a lock button for me.
But I thought you didn't care about ownership, Joe.
I just told you I'm locked on him, and the 4% just confirmed it. That's all I'm saying.
So you poser.
I'm definitely a poser and a sellout, and I'm proud.
Another guy I like down here, and this is just a pure talent play, is I'm just going to keep playing Breece Hall. Dalvin Cook is washed. I mean, you can see it. He just can't really do anything. And Breece Hall is so good that's literally the Jets' only chance to stay in this game, is to just give Breece Hall the ball 20 to 25 times and see if he can bust a few. Now, the Eagles' defense is really good, okay? But I'll take the chance, right? He's only $6,000. He's not above 7, and he's got the home run speed, okay? We saw it last week against the shitty Broncos. I'm not expecting that kind of output, but when they get down around the goal line, they're going to involve this guy more and more. I have some interest, and coming in at under 5% owned, I don't have to have a ton of them to be overweight on him. So,
well, I think you're honest. I mean, not that it's like a make or break play for me, but Jalen Carter's out Sunday.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. That's a very big deal.
That guy is a goddamn monster in the middle, and he's just so disruptive. So, whereas the Jets lose a guard, which I was a little bit nervous about playing Breece Hall, Jalen Carter being out is a big deal with Breece Hall this week.
I had not seen that, and that is very attractive. So I'm glad that just makes me even more enthusiastic about taking the shot there. He could get 8 points, but that's okay. I'm willing to take the risk. Going down. Anybody else here in the fives?
I think DeAndre Swift, real quick, is just very much in play. Like, he's the guy there. Like, so there's nothing wrong with that play.
So if you're gonna play DeAndre Swift, here's how I think you play it. And I already have a lineup that's built like this. You stack him with Hurts, because then you're literally just swallowing up
all the rushing
85% of the rushing touchdown market share for the Eagles, who could score 4 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's how I would prefer to play it this week. Is play both of those guys together. Again, that's not something that is super successful in a larger field tournament, but in the size tournaments that that I've been playing lately, that's something that you can be pretty successful at, because all you're looking for there is like 16 to 18 from Swift and then like 25 from Hertz. And you can get a combined, if you add both of their salaries together, that point per dollar with those two together is much more attractive than those independently. So that's it. I will be playing Swift, but I will not be playing him without Jalen Hurts.
Yep, I think that's sweet. The only other guy I have down here is Deontay Foreman, and it's just simply from a pure. He is the only guy left. I'm not messing with the other ones. Oh, okay. Who else in Chicago do you like at running back?
Not in Chicago, but I'm saying down here in the 5K range, there's definitely more guys.
Who?
Who?
It's Rachaad White. It's Rachaad White.
Yeah, Rachaad White's a good play.
He's got 76 touches in the first 5 weeks. He only has 1 touchdown. We really think the Bucs are going to win this ball game in a high-scoring game. This is the week Rachaad White at 5,500 scores touchdowns.
Yeah,
he's getting the touches. He's getting 20 touches a game.
I already have him in a lineup, so okay. I mean, I'm on board with that.
I mean, 5,500. He's getting 20 touches a game. He's only got 1 across the goal line here, and we think the Bucs are the team this week. Rachaad White's the guy if you're trying to save money and go down here. So no, I don't want to. I don't want to touch the Bears' offense, to be honest.
Dude, how about can we make it pour one out for Ramondre down here now at 5,400? Just a complete wasteland of an offense. New England is
poor man.
It's not even that. He's not even getting the majority of the snaps.
I know.
He's like going like 55, 45.
I think Belichick feels bad. He feels bad if he puts him out there. He's like setting him up for injury. Bill's just like, hey, we're not here to win.
Career.
They're going to get Caleb, and he's like, hey, save yourself. We're just gonna let Zeke take carries and get his ass beat because this offense fucking sucks. Why the hell would Bill Belichick keep going pulling Mac Jones out in the third quarter of every game going, he's starting next week? Because he wants to lose. They're going for Caleb.
Anyway, I personally think Deontay Foreman is a really good play this week.
Yeah, I'm playing him. He's too cheap.
He was good in Carolina. I don't know why they were not using him earlier this year with all these other dust balls in Chicago. He's gonna have a good game, and everyone's gonna be like, wow, why was he inactive the first couple of games not getting touches? Watch. He's going to score 12 to 15 plus points in this game. Yeah. No doubt. So
yeah, I think he's got a floor of about 10 points this week. I think he can catch the ball. So I'm looking for 2 to 3 receptions for maybe 25 yards. And then from there, I mean, you don't need more than 50 to 55 yards rushing. And I'm happy with 10 points out of him. Honestly, I am. So
I have no interest in the Cardinals' backfield.
No, well, I'm done talking about running back after that.
Yeah, I have nothing else.
I know.
So.
Yep.
Cool.
But don't forget about Rachaad. Okay, receivers. Let's start up high. Vinny, you have not led off yet, so Vinny, let's lead you off. Jimmy, you go second. I'll go last.
I already mentioned my guy, so Vinny, you can go ahead.
I mean, if I can get there, I'm playing Tyreek, baby. This is a guy who's aiming for 2,000 yards. He needs games like this to pop over 200. This is a perfect spot for him to absolutely tear Carolina a new one. Pretty simple. 9,300. He's the guy. I don't think a lot of people are going to be playing him. I could be wrong, though.
Joe?
Cooper Kupp's back, baby. The guy's going to get one of these games where he gets 15 or 20 catches in a game. Stafford loves this dude. The guy buys him breakfast every day. Cooper Kupp's back. And at 9K, that's just too cheap. It's a McCaffrey thing. Cooper Kupp and McCaffrey are kind of that same boat. If they're 9K, you got to fucking play him. It's simple as that.
We talked about my guy already at 9.
Jamar's too cheap. Yep.
So just to hit on Kupp real quick, I sent you guys the lineup earlier. My favorite way to play that Rams game is a full-on 4-man Stafford, Kyren Williams, Kupp, and Puka.
Just take the whole
those 3 guys on the offense are literally accounting. I looked at it earlier for 86% of the offensive production.
My best lineups last week were Stafford, Kupp, Nakua. I left out Kyren, but literally just ran those 3 and 3 lineups, and all 3 of those cashed.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
If you don't have to add Kyron, it's just something that not everybody will do. And it's such a concentrated offense that, I mean, why not? He's cheap enough, and that's how you can dilute somebody like Kyron Williams' ownership, is have him in a lineup like that, because there's no chance that like a lot of other people are going to do
and
that.
It's not going to change. Like, this is Matt Stafford. Like, look at Matt Stafford when he had a Calvin Johnson. Like, he's that dude. He's like, no, that's my dude, and I'm throwing to him. Now he has two dudes, and he's just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't care. He's like, I don't care if you know I'm going to him. They're going to win the battle, and I'm going to hit him on man coverage every time.
And that's absolutely killed Tyler Higbee's value, because last year it was Kupp and Higbee. Now it's Kupp and Nakua. So, all right.
And now McVay is designing things for Kupp and Nakua to get them open. It's honestly not really fair.
It's not. So going down the list here, let's stay in the sevens. I already talked about Amon-Ra. I'm the Sun God is my guy. I think that Jalen Waddle is a very, very interesting play this week. He's gotten basically no usage. And he's coming in at like 3% owned. And I know he's expensive, but I mean, I think if you're going to play that stack, there's enough value out there that you have to add Waddle into the stack or play him as a one-off. Like if you're going to run the Bryce stack with Carolina, then you should run Tyreek and Waddle on the way back and just leave Mostert out. I think it's a good way to get different on this game, and I really think that Waddle has a nice week this week. Who do you guys like in this like 7 to 6 range?
Yeah, I love Calvin Ridley. They need to understand that the recipe for their success is getting him the football. 2 of their 3 wins this year, he has over 100 yards. 2 of those 3 wins, he also has 1 touchdown in each of those games. When he gets targets, when he gets the ball, they win ball games. Calvin Ridley is their guy. And again, another guy, 6,700, too cheap. And this offense, and I like T-Law this week. T-Law, Ridley, line them up. Simple as that for me.
Vinny?
Yeah, I mean, I really am thinking this could be a Mike Evans week, guys. I think it could be one of those.
I love Mike Evans.
I think it could be a Mike Evans week. I like Calvin Ridley a lot. But I'm going to keep just going back to DJ Moore. He's still too cheap. It's the same thing we figured out. We just talked about Burrow and Chase. Justin Fields is learning, just throw the ball to DJ Moore and good things are going to happen. 3 of the last 4 games over 100 yards. They're starting to find that groove. Like, just don't fight it. Just play it, So as long as that weather holds up, I love DJ Moore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I don't really care about the weather. It's not going to be so bad, and he's literally the only guy worth a flying fuck on that offense. You just have to play him, and he's coming in at sub 5% ownership.
So that's insane.
I just don't, for 6,500 on a guy that's getting that kind of volume. Like, I just don't get it. Like, it's wild to me. So that's kind of where I'm going. Joe, going down into like the lower 6s and like the high 5s. Who are you liking in there?
I love Jacoby Myers. He's going against his old team. He's averaging 18 points a game, and he's 5,800. He's literally averaging 3x. Jimmy G loves hitting him over the middle. This guy gets one across the end zone. Again, revenge game. We know we all love that on this podcast. Jacoby Myers, line him up. He's going to get us that 3x minimum, possible 4x, 5x ceiling. So Jacoby Myers is just too cheap. Jimmy likes him. Jimmy has a rhythm with him. And I've been watching like kind of the game tape on it. The problem with Jimmy and Devontae right now is Devontae likes to make a lot of moves to get himself open, and Jimmy's a rhythm passer. Jacoby runs his routes for a rhythm passer. So he loves hitting Jacoby Myers because he's a one-step route guy, whereas Devontae is not a one-step route guy. So not that they won't develop some chemistry, Jimmy and Devontae at some point, but Jimmy and Jacoby obviously have something going right now, and you can't ignore that. 3 touchdowns over 5 games, 275 yards and 25 catches. 4 games. He missed a week. So Jacoby Myers is going nuts. His price is way too low, and he's going against his old team.
All right.
Yep, I like that. I think that I think that if you're playing a large field tournament, I don't know if I'm going to get to this play this week, but a Raiders stack with Jimmy G and Myers and Devontae could be really attractive.
So I just peeked real quick just to see while we were talking because it made sense. PFF has Devontae as the second best matchup on the entire slate in terms of receiver corner.
I'm telling you,
with Christian Gonzalez out, like there could be a explosion. Jimmy G week? Jimmy G's
well, the biggest problem, guys, with this Raiders offense right now is the offensive line is absolutely atrocious, and Devontae does need a little bit of time to maneuver his way and find those zones. And Jimmy is not patient enough right now, and this offensive line is not giving him enough time to really let Devontae explode.
Well, he's going to have time this week.
But he's obviously like the top 3 receiver in the NFL. But Jimmy and Jacoby, just again, that 3-step drop, quick hit passes, he's going to hit Jacoby all the time, especially in the red zone.
Trust me, they're going to have time this week. So if you're playing a larger field tournament, I think that stack with Kendrick Bourne, run back on the other side, I love it. I love it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's enough about that.
Yeah.
My favorite guy down in here that is going criminally under-owned this week is Nico Collins. Okay, there's actually 2 guys. You could throw Terry McLaurin in there as well. But Nico Collins, Jordan Addison, for $100 more, is soaking up 20 to 25% ownership. Okay, Nico Collins is Tank Dell's out. Robert Woods
unofficially
he's out. Robert Woods is banged up. They don't really have anyone to go to unless you want to throw a real dart and go to John Mechie at a dirt cheap price, which I don't hate, but I don't think you need to. I think Nico Collins at 5,600 is way too cheap for the sort of volume that he's going to get. New Orleans has a decent pass defense and a decent defense overall, but I just think the volume here for somebody like that, I'm going to be in on that. Is there anybody else down here that you guys like?
Yes, sir.
I'm
sticking with this Jags game. Christian Kirk, he threw a lot of people off in that first week, only getting 1 catch, and I think people are still sour on him. Since then, 14 targets, 6 targets, 12 targets, 8 targets in each game, 25, 16, 16, 15 points. He's getting targets, and he is
getting quite a bit of targets.
Right. And it's Evan Ingram in this Jags offense is not a part of it anymore. It's the Kirk and Ridley show. And so, again, I like T-Law this week. I like Ridley. I like Kirk. That's the same thing as the Rams. Just put those 3 together and let's ride. So I love Christian Kirk at 5,400. It's too cheap for the amount of action he's getting.
It's a very good play.
In a game I like.
Going down into the 4s here, is there anybody that you like? I've got a couple of people down here, but I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to take some shots on KJ Osborne if he's going to be a third of the ownership of Jordan Addison. That's for sure. Yep. Just makes a lot of sense. They're in the same spot. I mean, obviously Addison's a better player, but yeah, I'm just going to take the third of the ownership there. And then Josh Downs at 4,100. We got Minshew. We got Minshew mania in the swirl of this game that Joe loves so much that I do as well. I think Minshew is more obviously a pocket passer. I think Josh Downs at 4,100 could see 7, 8 targets, 10 targets. This is just a very easy spot, 4,100.
Okay, I like that.
Who else you got?
Joe, you got anybody down here? I mean,
really.
I just said I like Kendrick Bourne. I mean,
yep.
Juju's out with a concussion. The Patriots are going to have to throw the ball. I mean, it's pretty disgusting. But Kendrick Bourne is actually
joke that franchise is.
I just, the Raiders have a decent defense, right?
They're playing well. They're being scrappy.
But I mean, they're prone to missed tackles, blown coverages, things like that. So I'm more than happy putting in Kendrick Bourne at 4,200, who's going to operate as the number 1 wide receiver this weekend. I mean, you could play Devontae Parker for cheaper. That's just not somebody that I can ever stomach putting in a roster. I mean, I think that he's going to be my bold call later. but I think that Kendrick Bourne has like a 25-point plus game this week.
That's bold as hell. Anybody from the Patriots having more than like 10 points. So I'll give you bonus points there.
That's true.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah, but I'm good. I don't
Anyone
wanna
else
go
down
much
there?
more. I don't really have any shot takers,
The only guy I'm going to mention down here, it's a similar thing with the Bryce Young call that we talked about, is Jonathan Mingo had 7 targets last week at 3,500. If you need a bargain bin guy, dude.
On top of that, to make it better, our guy from last year, Jimmy's guy, Terrace Marshall, he was actually active last week and didn't play 1 snap. It was the biggest fuck you ever from Mark Wright. So
yeah,
I don't think he's on his good list right now, which means Mingo is going to be on the field a lot.
Fire him up. All right.
That'll do it for wide receivers. Tight ends.
What do we got?
I mean, for one, the ownership on TJ Hawkinson makes no sense to me whatsoever. He's only at 8% right now. He is the guy that Kirk looks to. He's the second option on that team, and I don't understand how people don't see that. I mean, Addison went a couple of weeks with less than 10 points, right? I mean, he is one of Kirk's favorite targets. And since there's so much value out there this week, I think people just, and there's a lot of expensive wide receivers. I just think that people don't want to pay $6,600 for a tight end. I'm more than fine paying that for him. I would be that's fine with me, right? Like I'll pay that price. I'll go in on that. So that's kind of where I'm going this week.
He's an amazing play this week. Especially if he's going to be that ownership. I didn't even care what his ownership was this week. I
was honestly bummed because in this matchup, I was expecting to see his ownership in the 20% range, which is where I'm going to have him. And it's like 8 to 7%. So like, I don't really understand what people are looking at. Maybe this will change by the end of the weekend, but like, I don't think so. So, he's a guy that I like a lot. Do you guys, I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit too. There's a few other guys up here, but I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts.
I love going low at tight end. So if you guys want to talk more guys up there, go for it. But I'm ready to talk the 3K range.
Vinny, I've got 2 more guys up here, actually.
Go ahead. I mean, go ahead and knock them out. I
mean, I like Laporta as a part of the golf stacks, just because the Tampa Bay is a pass funnel. Mm-hmm. I like Dallas Goedert quite a bit. I have not been impressed with the middle of the Jets' pass defense. I think that they're susceptible there. He's coming in like unowned, right? And he is actually showing up in the optimal lineup about 10% of the time. So on a full slate, to have like 4.5% positive leverage on the optimals is pretty wild. At 4,800, I mean, I think that's something that I'm more than happy to go for. You saw it last week. They kind of made it a point to get him going in a game. I think that they knew that they would win. I'm going to be running quite a bit of Dallas Goedert this week. Joe, the low man, take it away.
Yeah, first, I just want to bring up. Did you guys see Njoku's face?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
incredible.
How the fuck did he play last week? What an animal, dude!
Yeah,
he wore I saw it. He wore a balaclava like you would wear underneath a racing helmet, and they actually put like Vaseline on it so it would stick and wouldn't like move around a whole bunch.
Bro.
Dude, that's insane.
It's so gnarly.
I mean, look, Joe. When you're getting a game check that's a direct deposit, that honestly, because it was an injury that he did to himself, he would have probably had to forfeit a game check. You just get the fuck out there, right? Even if you're like halfway through the game, you're just like, oh, fuck it, right? It's absolutely incredible.
I just wanted to bring it up because that picture surfaced like 2 days ago, and I was just in shock. But anyway, back to our DFS pod.
So I saw, to piggyback on that, I saw him walking into the game last week, and he had like a full thing on, and I'm like, oh man,
He has on Jason, the Halloween mask.
That's what we thought.
Can't be that bad, right? And nope, it is. It was really that bad, right?
It's really bad. But anyways, down here, and I bring it up because my guy's right below him, and it's Dalton Schultz. I was on Dalton Schultz before the season. It's starting to kind of catch stride. He got 3x 2 weeks ago. He got like 7x last week. His price creeped up like $200. He's going against a New Orleans defense that me and you both are on. And Stroud looks good, right? Stroud's throwing the ball. He's putting a lot of targets out there. Dalton Schultz is starting to become part of his plan, right? He's going through his progressions. He's getting further down his progression list. He's evolving as a quarterback, which means the tight end gets more targets. So Dalton Schultz at 3,600, I'll take it.
I totally agree with you there, Joe. I think that a young quarterback, because in college they don't really run like check down routes with tight ends, right? Or they don't really run shallow routes a whole bunch. They'll run them on like deep corners or like drags and stuff like that. But in the NFL, they run a lot of sits. They run a lot of choice routes with the tight end. And it takes a little bit to start to recognize that, right?
If you get in the rhythm, right? Because there's a lot of option routes where you kind of have to feel where he's going. You have to feel he's going left or right, and he's starting to kind of get this rhythm with Dalton Schultz. And at 3,600, I don't think his price is going to be there much longer. Dalton Schultz can be that guy to 6x again.
Well, if you go back and take a look too at college, Joe, CJ Stroud basically just played against a lot of man coverage. Most colleges will run just like a lot of man with like a one safety over the top, right? So he had athletes that would just beat this one-on-one coverage. He didn't know the nuances of zone coverage. Now, to his credit, as also like a guy like Brock Purdy, they've picked it up very, very quickly, right? And they can assess and read where those guys are. I think Dalton Schultz is going to be like kind of a must play in your lineups kind of the rest of the way. He's never going to be more than $4,000. He's always going to be cheap. And when you have Kyle Pitts, who I kind of like, now looking at his ownership of 17%, no thanks. Give me Schultz all day long.
Hell yeah.
Low man?
Dig it. I like Cade Otton, man. We talk about we like Tampa. I know he's not like an amazing play, but at 3,200, like he's seeing 4 or 5 targets a game, 10, 12 points. It's not amazing, but it's something if you need to go way, way down there.
I get where you're coming from. I would just rather play Conklin at 33.
That's fair.
He's just more productive. But I mean, again, another guy that's getting just sandwiched away from Kyle Pitts is Logan Thomas, right? For only $200 more.
Dude, I'm just worried that there's a little hype around him. Like, I know he's a good player, but it's like every time that guy has a good game, the following week he gets a concussion or a broken arm or something.
Okay, well, we can't plan for that.
No, but you can with him. With him. This is like the 9th year in a row this has happened. This is no longer a small sample size. So I think he's a good player. I literally had him in a lineup earlier, and I was like, no, this guy's gonna get hurt. And I took him out.
He's averaging 11.9 points a game.
I know. I would love to play him, but this has like a hamstring tear in the first quarter written all over it.
Just grow a pair and play him, okay?
I swear
he's
to
not
God,
even on the injury report.
If this that matter. If this happens, I'm gonna go ballistic on Sunday.
I'm playing a lot of Logan Thomas, so I'll be upset too.
Well, don't say it.
Just grow a pair.
He's the Will Fuller of tight ends, but keep going. Anyone else?
He's way more productive than Will Fuller. What an insult. Jesus. What a poor bastard.
Hold on. Where is Will Fuller? How's he doing? Is he okay?
I don't know.
He's not. He's not okay.
He's probably fucking, I don't know. You guys start defenses. I'm going to look up Will Fuller. Where is Will? Okay, go for it. Defenses, Niners, 4,000.
Working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
I just hope he's happy. You know.
He's probably not.
He's currently an unsigned free agent.
He's probably not happy. Does that answer your question? You feel better about yourself now?
So he's probably blowing rails off
Face
strippers'
down.
asses.
He's face down in a drain pool somewhere.
Come on, we don't need to go negative town like that. He's just not happy. I wouldn't be happy either.
Well, he's just, Joe's just saying it. So,
Hey, just words.
He's just saying it. I mean, he's got career earnings of, close to $30 million. So
it's not that unhappy. All right, keep going. Is there anybody else down here? Can we move on to?
No, I already transitioned to fucking defense. Niners 4,000.
I'm just
Who's
concerned
playing
about
the
Will.
Niners? Who's playing the Niners? Fuck Will.
If I can get there, I'm playing the Niners because PJ Walker is starting for the Browns this week.
10% is not enough, and I think that is going to be, my ownership just updated at like 8:00 tonight. I'm gonna refresh it again just to see if it's gone up in the last hour. It's very possible it could, but no, still at 10%. So yeah, if this is the 1 week that I'll gladly go all the way up if I can. Who are you guys paying down for is my question.
I'm going with Tampa, coming off a bye. I think Detroit. Yeah, I mean, I understand and completely like the reasons that you all stated for Goff. The other side of the coin is Jared Goff on the road outside. Tampa's off a bye. I think I think Tampa wins this game. So I think they shut down the running game of Montgomery and they force Goff to throw a lot and they pick him off a few times. I think they win this game.
You don't have to explain anything to me. You're talking to the guy who played the Giants defense 2 weeks ago at $2,000 and they scored 9 points for me. Okay. So, 2,300. I agree with, I'm there with you. It's either going to be the Niners for me. I think Detroit is interesting in that same game just because they do create a lot of pressure and it's still Baker Mayfield. So, a pick six is possible, but really for me, it's either going to be the Bucs or the Niners. I really don't have interest in kind of anybody else. Joe.
Cool.
No, Niners are my team. I'm actually going to start most of my lineup builds just throwing the Niners in there on defense, and then I'll build around it. And it's because I can get really cheap in a lot of areas this week that I really like. I don't have to go up to get people, and the Niners are an easy fit just based on what I like this week. So I'm just running Niners through every lineup and, taking my shot.
All right. Let's go to bold calls. I'll start off since I kind of already since I already said mine. It's going to be Kendrick Bourne at $4,200 salary is going to have a 25-point plus week. And I'll also give my favorite stack is that Rams onslaught that we talked about. So just played literally the entire Rams offense, which is Stafford, Williams, Puka, and Kupp, and go from there. There's it's expensive. No one's going to play all four of those guys. Even if you just want to play Stafford, Puka, and Kupp, no one's going to play that stack because Puka's expensive as he should be. That's my favorite stack. I think that stack right there, the four-man stack combined, can get you over 100 points just between those four guys.
All right.
Vinnie, bold call. Joe, bold call. Bold call.
Joe.
Bold call.
Jacoby Myers has 25-point floor this week with an upside of going to 35.
Okay. Looks like I am going to be playing the Jimmy G stack then.
Yeah, I think Jacoby Myers, he's going to have that week. I love revenge games. They're very attractive.
Very attractive.
They're pretty hot. They're pretty hot. They're pretty sexy.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, I'm going to go with a double here. So I think Jonathan Mingo scores a touchdown this week at 3,500. That's your pay down option of the week.
Wow.
And I can't decide between the two. Joey's got me leaning Walker because of his bold call earlier, but it's either Kenneth Walker or Alvin Kamara that leads all running backs in points this week. So get one of those two, if not both, in your lineups if you can.
Kenneth Walker or Alvin Kamara.
Right in that sweet spot, that 67, 68 range. That's the moneymaker.
And
while everyone's trying to pay down in the 4Ks and get cute with Arizona and all these things, 67, 68 is the sweet spot.
All right. I like it. So I'm feeling good this week. Don't forget to please leave us a comment, follow, give us a follow on the podcast feed as well. 5-star review helps us out. Follow all of us on Twitter. Joey Props, JJ McIntosh, Notorious VJL.
If I put Logan Thomas
Sports
in my lineup right now and he gets hurt, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Look, Logan Thomas is better than your fucking Jonathan Mingo play.
Fucking clip that.
Ring it, motherfucker.
I'll
be waiting for your ass.
Yeah, I'm just going to start clipping death threats here on YouTube. All right. Anyways, I think that's all I got. I feel good. On a positive note.
I came here to kick some ass and drink some beer. I'm all out of beer.
What is it? Who'd you offend? I apologize to all the bus drivers out there.
No, go fuck yourself if you got offended. Go suck a dick.
We want people playing this on the bus to their fans, okay?
Even if you're a bus driver, you should laugh at the fact that we're making fun of your job. That's the people we want to attract to this podcast, not the one they get offended about it.
Vinny, that's the most recognition that city bus drivers gotten on any podcast in the last fucking 10 years. Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm going to start a city bus driver podcast next week. Just to honor them.
We used to be men of the people. Now we're not. Good job, guys.
Well, they're going to be robots driving those buses in a couple of years anyways.
Okay. Now we've really gone off the fucking.
There won't even be buses in a few years when we're all flying around, loser.
If anyone's still listening.
If anyone wants to stick around for the conspiracy part, we'll be back in about 10 minutes after the intermission.
Yeah, we're gonna start the Red Zone conspiracy pod. Late night.
A few more of these and we'll jump back on.
Actually, that's a great idea. Red Zone conspiracy pod late night. I'm in.
It's like the old Pac-12 after dark. You just hop on and like weird stuff happens.
It's not the worst idea. We've had worse.
And we only go live.
Idiot. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Later.
Peace.